Welcome. Everyone have a seat and greet your neighbors. David Selzer, a proud member of this community. And, I forgot to mention cell phones. So if you turn off your various devices so they don't go off. So we're all here gathered. We're going to be here for a spiritual gathering and melding of the minds and acknowledgement of the God in all of us. Now, we're going to have music. The words, I assume, are on the screen behind me. Right.
Good guess.
And then followed by our practitioner of the day, Reverend Sarah is going to be giving us the message today. Thanks.
Because the one I love lives inside of you, I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you, I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you, and you, and you, I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you, I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you, I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you, I lean as close to you as I can. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you just as you are. I love you, 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 just as you are. Held in love, held in. God is holding me. Every breath, with every step, God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. holding me. God is holding me. I'm held in love, held in peace. God is holding me. Every breath and every step, God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me.
As we absorb all those words that we are immersed in, the healing power of God is holding me every moment. Spirit is all there is, ever present, always present for each of us. And that we are surrounded by that infinite love and intelligence that is guiding and directing us each moment. So we give thanks for the awareness that Spirit truly is all there is, everywhere present, in us, through us, as us, unchangeable. So we give thanks for that awareness, for the love that surrounds us, and knowing that whatever is on our hearts and our minds, that Spirit is there, supporting us, guiding us, directing us. So we open our hearts to that Spirit of God, to the love of God, knowing that it is radiating through and as us in every way and every day. And we open our minds to the infinite intelligence that is always guiding and directing us each moment in every situation that we are facing. And we open our bodies to the infinite intelligence that is doing its work to harmonize and heal everything that needs to be harmonized and healed. And we give thanks for the great wonder of infinite intelligence circulating our blood and breathing our breath and healing all that needs to be healed. We know that is true for the circumstances of our life as well. That whatever is heavy on our hearts and minds, if there is anything that is there, that Spirit is also there guiding and directing us. So we give thanks for this understanding. Release it as already done in the mind of God, and simply wait for wonderful reports and delightful surprises. And so it is. Amen.
Held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath and every step, God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me.
We give great thanks for this wonderful group of musicians. And Bodhi, I think you're going to announce them. You're going to introduce them for us?
Yeah, it was kind of an organic Sunday. Just another organic Sunday. love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire. I'll be by your side forevermore. Because your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Sing it. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Now once I was downhearted, disappointment, my only friend. Then you came, and you know you never showed his face again, because your love keeps lifting me higher. Love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. La da 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 da. Sing it out. Da 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 da. I'm so glad I found you. Yeah, that one, Karyl, 1 in a million. And with you, your love all around me. I can stand up and I can stand up and face the world. Because your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Keep it up, quench my desire, and I will be by your side forevermore. Because your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Whoa! Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Yoo-hoo. Welcome to March. And thank you. Yep, I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley. I'm glad you're all here today. And if we have any people here for the very first time, there's a very special welcome for you. We have people here from our membership team with little envelopes of information about our center. There's a blue card in there, which we would love it if you would fill out and give back to us. And you will get a prize for that. A prize. What religious science teaches. That's what you'll get if we get that blue card back, see? So all you have to do to get that is to raise your hand and we'll put the envelope in it. Anybody here for the first time that would like information about our center? There we go. I knew there was somebody. Welcome. I'd love to meet you personally afterwards. So, I want to say that someone left us this week. It was Gene Langell. And I'm going to tell some stories about him this morning. And Lisa, his daughter, is here, and all of his friends are here. Well, not all, because he must have had a million friends because of who he was. But it was early Tuesday morning, and he passed peacefully at home. And he went from home to home. And so we hold Gene in our hearts today and the whole Langell family, okay? So moving right into the talk here, the theme for the whole year is 100 Years of Science of Mind. And Science of Mind is the philosophy that we teach here, and it brought us this perennial wisdom of our oneness with God. So in Corinthians, in the Bible, and I'm reading from the Judeo-Christian Bible, but pretty much every spiritual tradition in their mystical side has this idea of oneness. So it's not just 100 years ago that this was discovered. It was from forever ago. But more recently, in 1 Corinthians, it's written, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?" That is the truth. The infinite presence, the God, the goddess, whoever you think of as that eternal, infinite deity lives within you, and you live within it. It's like the God or goddess is at your center, and you are in its center, and there's this interpenetration of the universes that spans the realms and goes on forever and ever. That is the teaching. So right along with that is this theme for March. This is our new theme. You are rooted in the divine. So I love this image that Mary found because there's this amazing big tree, and then this little seedling with a little feather right here, that everything is rooted in the divine. And then I want to draw your attention to Janet Ryan's beautiful altar with the trees and the green and the way she's got this. Isn't this amazing? This little ginkgo tree, and then the divine roots, and they're all lit up, and it's like really being rooted in the divine. So I want to think with you about that word. Yo, yay! So when we think of something being rooted, Janet's tree, this tree, that feather, us, it means some things always. First of all, it means that the rooted baby is secure. That's the idea. The roots go down and wind around the rocky places and anchors the little seedling so that the leaves can go up. So the idea is that we are secure in the divine. We are rooted, our toes are down in there, metaphorically, of course, because the God or goddess is everywhere. Sacred life is everywhere, and we are a part of it. We are so connected. Our tendrils are wrapping around it all around. So security is one thing when we're rooted. Another piece of being rooted is that we're nurtured. So the soil gives the seedling what it needs to grow. And it lovingly does this. It's the natural way of growies in this earthly plane. And we are the same. We are nurtured. We are given opportunities. We are given choices. And we are given guidance. Reverend Sarah's prayer was all about divine guidance. So this is part of the ways that we are nurtured. And we are given literally everything we need to thrive in this life. And then finally, what I thought of when I thought about being rooted is that we are expressive of divine intelligence. So if you plant a carrot, you get a carrot. I won't break into that song. You'll have to come again for that. Well, plant the carrot, get a carrot, never any doubt. Okay, I can't resist. But we too have divine intelligence. We know through our divine intelligence that love is better than conflict. We know that vision is better than complaint. We know that care of others is better than greed. We know that cooperation is better than competition. And I believe that all of us are born into this earthly plane with at least one thing to do. Many important things to do, maybe, but one real, or we wouldn't be here. You know, we don't just come into this realm to be bored and bore others and bore the infinite. You know, Jean Houston says, don't bore God. And so we have to do what we're here to do, and we do that through divine intelligence and then being nurtured and secure. So divine intelligence in the seedling and the soil makes a new plant. And in this environment that the new plant finds itself, it kind of says, this is what life is like in this forest, this is what life is like, or in this desert, and therefore this is what I am like. So the soil nurtures it enough to grow it, if there's a plant there, it's been nurtured enough to grow. But sometimes it can be a struggle for the plant if the soil is inadequate. And that's the way the plant is because it can't re-choose to go somewhere else. So the analogy for humans about being nurtured and secure and all that divine intelligence, it's a close analogy, but it's not exact because we do have choice. We have the choice of how we see the soil in which we're planted. Honestly and truly, we are rooted in perfect divine soil. We are rooted in God. Despite any of our life conditions or situations, we have all that we need to thrive. We have the potential, the possibility, and the programming to be absolutely magnificent and to share that magnificence with the world. Now, we can pretend that we were rooted poorly, that our upbringing was not adequate, or that there was lack at the beginning of our lives. And we developed in a stunted way, and that's the reason we're this way. That's the reason that we haven't produced anything in life, is because we were stunted in our growth. But even sometimes we can believe that the divine is scary. But this philosophy heals all of that. So the title of my talk today is this: What Tickles Your Toes? So it's a playful image, but honestly, what we believe that we are rooted in can add to our magnificence or stunt our growth. And it has to do with our belief, not the absolute truth that we are rooted in the divine and we take with us, or can take with us, moving through us, all of the attributes of the divine. So the idea is that our concept of God, or our concept of the infinite, whether you call it God or goddess or infinite intelligence or love intelligence that created the universe or source or Papa or whatever, whatever our idea of God is, I'll use that word for shorthand, is our concept of all of life. So you can know, maybe, that the nature of your source is so divine, so perfect, so all-inclusive, so generous, so yes in its delivery system, that life can be good and better than you can imagine. And honestly, that's the teaching, that's our teaching, and I'm going to go into it, quite a bit more this morning. But I want to say at this point that there are angels around us that give us the example of what it is like to be rooted in the divine. And these are two of them. These are two of the angels that show us what life can be like. So Jean, who I said passed the Tuesday morning, is an example of one so rooted in the divine and so willing to share his divinity that is probably the most well-known of anybody in our community because he met everyone. He was cheerful, welcoming, adoring, helpful, conscious. And I would go up to him, even when he was in his wheelchair towards the end, and I would say, "How are you doing, Jean?" And he'd say, "I'm just grand." I'm sure he said that to you. And so I said he would talk to me about who he had met that day and that I needed to go talk to this one and talk to this one. And so I would thank him for being so generous and welcoming to everybody who comes here. And he said, "Well, I want everyone to feel welcome. That's why I seek out new people." So his joy was absolutely contagious, and he leaves that joy with us. He didn't take it with him. The qualities of God move right with him and stay with us. So why not be happy? Why not be happy like Jean? That's one of the best ways of keeping someone alive in our hearts and in our minds, is to be like them in our own way. So I encourage you with everything within me is to bring forth your inner Jean today and every Sunday. Bring forth your inner Jean and just greet everyone as if they were family, which they are. And he will be right in among us, kind of pushing you at your back and saying, "Go visit that one. Go visit that one." So the 15th of April will be his memorial service, and you're all invited. And there'll be much more to say about that. So back to this. Your concept of God is your concept of life. So Mary found those two images that really say it all. So your concept of God can be chancy or secure. And if your concept of God is chancy, then your concept of life is about how lucky you are, not how secure you are in divine reality. So our teaching is that the divine is not a personality-driven entity, that it is a principle-driven entity. And it is the foundation of the universe and is so secure that it keeps the planet spinning and the babies forming, whether they are seedling babies or human babies or bunny babies, just keeps that going. That is the security that you can lean into. The song we sang is not an accident. The one I love lives inside of you, so I lean as close to you as I can. That is the security of the infinite that you want to go after. So your concept of God can be judgmental or supportive. So I just want you to think for a moment, moving into that possibility that it's a judgmental God. How would it be if God said, "You are a misshapen squirrel and I curse you, and you're bad at finding nuts"? Well, you laugh because it's absurd. The squirrel has the divine nature of squirrelness in him, which I wish they didn't in my yard. They are so clever. And you, oopsie, You and I, thank you. You and I are also the creation of God along with all the squirrels. So Hafez said this: the earth would die if the sun stopped kissing her. The analogy, of course, is that we would all not be here if the infinite stopped loving us, which is absolutely impossible. Finally, is your concept of God scary or loving? I think in some denominations, and maybe some of you have had a past of scary religion, where you were taught to fear God. And you know, I don't know it for sure, but I believe that that is a mistranslation. I just have that feeling that that is not the way that it is useful or purposeful to think of that which created us. What is useful and purposeful is for us to believe that we are the beloved of God. We are adored. We are cared for. We are watched over. In the Bible it says, you know, there's not a blade of grass that is not loved and adored and cared for by God. And then there are the lilies of the field, you know, and the birds of the air. But let me read you this from Isaiah. It's so great. It says, "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail." Think of that. Think of how precious a spring is in the desert and how willing it is for a garden to grow where there is water. That is how we are. We are well watered by the infinite. We are ready to spring up like a garden because we are rooted in the divine and can express the qualities of the divine. So if you have any remnants in you, and I'm telling you, we do live in a country that has the consciousness of Calvinism and worms of the dust and sinner bits. And so if there is a remnant of a chancy, judgmental, or scary deity, I want you to know it is not real. It is not real. And if it colors your experience, it tickles and jabs at your toes. And that's not good. You don't get to be the free, divine, expressive agent of the infinite if you are scared by that source. So we have to heal that. And so we come to a leap of faith. We come to, because every philosophy tells you that you have to have a leap of faith. And the nature of a leap of faith is that you have no evidence to believe what they're asking you to believe. Maybe some of that is from your past too. And that maybe that leap of faith was too much for you. But the leap of faith that we ask you as science of mind people and religious scientists, metaphysicians, that despite any and all circumstances that you have gone through in your life, that, first of all, life is good. That's a huge leap of faith. If you have leaned into the misfortune of your past, or have leaned into the neglect of your youth, to the suffering that you have gone through, to say, gulp, I am going to leap into the belief that life is good can be huge. And you know what? It won't be good for you unless you leap there. It won't. If you were raised that beliefs are absolutely true and you can't change them or it's a sin, that's the first one to let go. Because beliefs are just those thoughts that run your life. That's all they are. Wouldn't it be nice to have life is good run your life? You can, and I'm going to tell you how to do it today. After I tell you the other piece of this great leap of faith, which is the divine adores you. No matter what you've done or not done, no matter how many prayers you've prayed or how little time you have spent in the unseen realm, no matter how many lies you have perpetuated by ignorance or by malice, it doesn't matter. The infinite adores you. Just as you are. I love you, 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 I love you. Just as you are. So, if you are thinking, oh, if only I could make that leap. Because it's really hard to think of something that you've never thought of, and to feel something that you've never felt, and to step into a reality that you have never imagined. And sometimes you can't do it with a whole leap, but you can make a little leap. I mean, this is a big leap next. But, I mean, you can just take a little baby step, really. And that can be the beginning of your leap. So I'm going to tell you how to make this leap into life is good and God adores you, all right? And the way you do it is that you generate the nature of God in you. You do it for others. You generate this feeling of well-being, even if it's a tiny, tiny, tiny seed. You give it some nurturing so it can take root. So there's three things that I came up with. First of all, I've said this before, but it works. You weigh the good heavy. The things that you don't like, you minimize. You go, oh well, next. Oh well, next. And the things that you do like, you love them. You think about them. You talk about them. You emphasize them. You do actions in the name of them. Like, I'm making a bouquet because I love my life. Little things like that. You know, I look at myself in the mirror and say, not so bad. Even if there's one thing that you like about, I remember that there was a time that the only thing I liked about myself really was my ankles. I have very nice ankles. And Mary says, yes, she's seen my ankles a lot. So, if you have one little thing that you like about yourself, you weigh that heavy. Put importance on it. Oh, what lovely ankles. Okay, you do that, right? Will you go in front of the mirror and find something you love and say, oh, that's really good, that one right there, that part. Next is you adore others. You go around loving people, noticing how precious they are, noticing how helpful they are. Notice how gentle they are. Notice how they love each other. I love Sunday mornings for many, many, many reasons, but one of the reasons is I get to see you guys hug each other. I love that. I want to come up and make a sandwich out of every single couple. So adore others. Now what this does is the adoring feeling, if you adore others, is right here, coming out from your heart, and you step into it, step into it, step into it, every step you take. And if you get used to that adoring feeling, guess what? You'll wake up one morning and think, oh, I feel so loved. And you will know that it is the divine loving you. Even if it's said by somebody next to you, it's really God working through them. And then finally, count your blessings. What happened? That was fabulous. At the end of the day, you can start by saying, what's my favorite thing about the day? And even if your favorite thing about the day is like, okay, instead of fabulous, focus on that. Bring that forward and declare gratitude and share it with others. Talk about that. So if you do these things, if you weigh the good heavy, if you adore others, and if you count your blessings, that is what the leap looks like. Because you will be approximating the love that God has for you. And you will be practicing, remember you're rooted in the divine. Yeah, that's the other one. And I wanted to go back to this one here. You will be feeling secure, nurtured, and expressive of divine intelligence. So, for a moment, in this, this is concluding the message. I think you got it. I hope you got it. I hope you do it. Because I'm telling you, you can listen to me, and if you don't do what I say, your life won't change for the better. Or do something that some wise person says, okay? So, Gene always weighed the good heavy. He adored others. And even when he wasn't feeling so well, he would declare that he was great. I think that that is the greatest highway to heaven that I can imagine. You know, he was put into hospice when he was in the hospital. And they took him home. And the family told me that he got home and he said, "Ann, I'm home." And he passed on sooner than 24 hours later. He was home, and he was home. And so we think of those who go before us as widening the highway for us. We have all the wisdom we need to create heaven on earth and to lightly step when it is our time. Whenever anyone passes, it's really good to remember that we will go precisely on time, just like they did. We get to live our lives to the fullest and then step over consciously as we go to the big home, the home from which we came into this earth. Knowing that as we have practiced being rooted in the divine here, that absolute assurance of being rooted in the divine for eternity will be the truth of our being. That is the lesson that everyone that we love who passes leaves behind. So let's do the inner work now. And the practitioners are making that container so you can feel like the little plant in the middle. So what a wonderful morning to feel the roots of our feet, and as we sit, the roots from our hip bones as well, moving down into the earth and wrapping around stones and going deep, 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 deeper than we've ever dug, sending our roots down into that molten lava at the center of the earth, that red-hot energy of Mother Earth, feeling how good it feels on our toes. And then imagining all of the dendrites and the connections in our brain growing out through our skull and branching up, creating a great canopy with silver leaves that turn towards the sun. And imagine that heavenly energy being attracted by the leaves and coming down through the branches and down through our body, which is the trunk, and shooting down into Mother Earth. And then imagine that red hot energy, the blood of the mother, coming up through our feet, up through the trunk of the tree that is our body, moving out into the branches and shooting out through the silver leaves, thus becoming that which connects heaven and earth. We are the ones on this earthly plane that get to do that, connect heaven and earth. And in this moment, we remember Jean fully in heaven, not just above us, but right close as our breath. Jean Langell, sweet soul. And we wish that sweet soul Godspeed on his next adventure, already knowing that he is in the welcoming committee of heaven. And those who have passed since Tuesday morning have been welcomed home by Jean. So good to feel and know this, and know that he will welcome us when it is our time. Bringing the branches back into our body and the roots back up into our feet. We know how blessed we are. And live this day knowing we are adored by God. And so it is. Amen.
You can play the game, you can act a part, though you know it wasn't written for you. But tell me, how can you stand there with your fool, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another, doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, Father and Mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, then don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. What I say now. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, hide. This is what it is. What's your plan to do with your foolish pride? And you're all by yourself. Once you tell somebody the way you can feel it beginning to be. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. What I say now. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way say now, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Sing with us. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Keep it going. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Can't hear you now. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. They say it ever love, a little rain. Say the rain. People you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Love. Shower the people you love with rain. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you Thank you. We got Amanda on the shakers. We got Robin Sickle on the drums and the percussion. Rick Walt on the bass. My friend from Canada, Camille Capel on vocals. Bodie.
Yay!
Thank you.
Shower the musicians with love, for they bring out the love in us. So, may the ushers please come forward. My name's Gail Durkin. I'm a practitioner of this wonderful community, and I drive here with Catherine, and I love to come here because of the love that's here, the connection that I feel, the people that we care about each other. It's just wonderful. So thank you for what you bring to my heart. So if you take your gifts, somewhere mine is in my pocket or was in my pocket. Anyway, put your gift upon your heart and just think about the love that you bring here and everywhere that it goes. And so if the ushers would please collect the offering.
Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and receive. If love is why we're here, let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let me be an open me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then. 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 Let me give and then receive. Grady, thank you. Thank you.
So if you'll read with me the blessing. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Thank you.
So the announcements begin with gratitude, of course, and I would just like to thank those that create this every single Sunday. Thanks, Dan. I'd like to thank today Jim for setup and Jim for sound. The camera work started out being David and then Ron. And the computer streaming is Tom, who's here every single Sunday, and Mary, who's here just about every single Sunday on PowerPoint. The practitioners at the table are ready to pray for you. Just come on over to the table. If no one's at the table right when you come, it means they're all praying with somebody, but the prayers are just short. They're like 5 minutes, so that somebody will come and get you. I'd like to thank Janet for the altar, and then the fabulous music this morning with Bodie and Robin and Rick and Camille and Amanda and Karen. And today I would also like to thank our leadership. Would everyone from the Core Council please stand? These people work really hard for you, and we have a business meeting. I shouldn't even put quotes around it. That's what it is. It's a business meeting every month, and the Core Council does the business of this community, deciding how to spend the wonderful supply that you give us. We're very good stewards of your money, and you'll hear a lot about the workings of this community at the annual meeting, and there is an announcement about that with the date. But let's continue. First of all, Partnership Sunday, Reverend Barbara is with us this morning. Reverend Barbara is the community spiritual leader 11 time zones away, which is remarkable because most of the time she lives here and does meetings at 5 in the morning so that her people can be with her in Ukraine.
Hi, it's great to be here. I encourage you to read the little announcement in your bulletin, and it ends with the words, "We are becoming accepted." So you know how powerful that feels to become accepted? Has that ever been something you've grappled with in your life? So because without you I wouldn't be, in Ukraine for 17 years on this September 11th. And we are finally becoming accepted. Oh, there are lots of stories about that. But even so, there are moments when we doubt that, right? And somebody can say some little thing like, no, you can't do that. And it can pivot us right back into our not being okay or not being accepted or not being one of the crowd. I grew up in a little tiny country town, and you had to live there 30 years before you were accepted. And so I want you to know that we are learning to accept ourselves as we are in Ukraine. I love today's message, as I always do. I love all the levels of being accepted wherever I am in my life. I love the level of being accepted here. Sometimes I want it to be more. I'm trying to figure out how to be gracious and gentle with that. That's the work. I invite you to come back and see our beautiful new flyer about all the things that are happening there, largely because people believe in it, people like you. I'm grateful. I give thanks for it. And I accept you back at the table after service. Thank you.
Thank you. This coming Thursday is the Extra Edge at Il Fornaio. Reverend Sarah leads this wonderful group. Her theme this Thursday from 8 in the morning till 9:30 is joy, exclamation, exclamation, finding joy for yourself, spreading joy to others. And her presentation is about spirituality in everyday life and work. But it's really mostly about everyday life, how you live these principles day by day. You don't have to have a business to come and receive her gifts. Next, I have started the class, More Topics in Prosperity. This was a back by popular demand 4-week class, but it's 4 new topics. And so you are welcome to the last 3. It's on Thursday evening at 6:30, and we have an awesome class uncovering and healing any blocks to living in our natural abundance. Bodhi's birthday party that he gives all of us on March 9th is the sound healing performance, and that is his birthday celebration, and you're all invited to it. So that should be wonderful. Very, very shamanic, beautiful, take you away, and he'll deliver you back into your body. So that's wonderful. So you're not just floating out there. And this is our annual meeting. The annual meeting date is Sunday, April 8th. No. Sorry, missed it. Becoming a member. Today, thank you, Mary. Today is the orientation at 12:30 at the Learning Center. So if you even think you might want to become a member, it just lasts for a couple hours, maybe 2.5 hours at our Learning Center, and you will learn what it means to be family with us, as much as we can put it into words, to see if you're ready. So you're invited to that. There's no commitment involved in that. And now our annual meeting is Sunday, April 8th, and that's the business meeting that I talked to you about. Next, we have a creative crafts circle, and there was someone there that was doing stitching and knitting and painting, or pen and ink. So anything that you want to come and just, you know, that wonderful craft feeling of doing something with your hands and just letting conversation flow, it's beautiful. I love it. My Sacred Journey to France is filling up. If you would be interested in that, there's a flyer in the back, and I have, of course, lots of information. It's happening the second half of June. Pisces, this is your birthday month. If you are a fishy and would like to have a birthday gift from your community, come over to the practitioner table and fill out a spiritual update of your life, and then call somebody on the back of that form, and you can have a free practitioner session. Easter is coming up on April 1st, and so team sign-ups are in the back. And Deborah Welsh, where are you? Come. Deborah Welsh is the new bunny goddess of Easter.
Your love is lifting me higher. Oh, it's a great day to be alive. This morning I heard a news story about 5 people who were overtaken by an avalanche. And they all lived. And the couple who told the story, the guy was under the snow for 45 minutes. And these strangers, Good Samaritans, came and dug him up and were there to help him. And that's what I think this community is all about, just helping one another. So Easter is coming April 1st, and I'm going to be the team leader. Taking on the job of team leader now, and co-chairing wonderful Joe Hughes is going to be helping me with this. And I got a call from Pat Sandry, and she was saying that we weren't going to have baskets this year for the auction. And I said, what? Oh, yes, we are. We are having baskets. And so I want to have volunteers sign up for the baskets. It is so much fun, and the bonnet contest is still happening. So all the sign-up sheets. We don't have the basket sign-up sheet yet, but it is coming. So put your creative hats on, your bonnets, and come up with some great ideas for some baskets. Sorry? What are the baskets are what your creative ideas. I always put a basket out for a headshot and some other things in the basket. Some people put out what they do for a living, or some books, or some jewelry, candies. It's a silent auction. And yes. Has anyone not seen the baskets before? Oh, so everybody knows. Okay, well, I'll come and tell you about it. Great.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
you'll need a basket.
Yes.
You'll need a basket.
Okay, thank you.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you. Then food. The food sign-ups are in the back. Lots and lots and lots of turkeys, hams, casseroles, flambe. Can we have flambe here? Okay. Next, Reverend Catherine's ordination is Saturday, April 7th. And it's going to be right here, and it is going to be a fabulous celebration. You are all invited. And then our beloved Jean's memorial service will be the 15th. So the beginning of April looks like this. And it requires your participation and actually bringing food to all of it. We got Easter on the 1st. Then we have on the second Saturday is the ordination. And then the third Sunday is the memorial service. So just keep that casserole recipe out. Okay? And so. And there's a 5th Sunday. And a 5th Sunday at Jet's house for brunch. So you can bring the same casserole to Jet's house. Oh no, Jet's going to provide it all. So. Unless you have Alex. Oh my God. Okay, so this is getting very complex, and I'm going to declare the announcements over. And I'm going to bless you. So I bless your path. I bless your roots in God and the blossoming of your life. And as always, Spirit guides your way. Please stand, beloveds, for the affirmation and closing song. Right up here. I am rooted in the divine. I am safe, secure, adored, inspired, supported, and cared for. I feel this, I know it. I am the beloved of my source, and I pass on this divine well-being to all others.
Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth.